3% less.
Okay, say there.
We got to the two dogs.
Sure, yes,
Who, you?
yeah, last night, sure.
Who, you?
We got to
Up to the top.
yeah, we got to the last end of the base. We're gonna start Sagim Udal from top. So Gemara continues with the questions that we have regarding the kibbutz. We start saying Gimel Udal, the first word.
93A1.
Sadi Gimel Udal, first word. Easy to find. Nitas al beged tome ma. What happens if you have blood, hamachatos, which spills or falls on to a beged tome, meaning clothing which is already tome? What's the din over there? Meaning what's going to be the case? We learned that if you have already dam, which is pasul, it doesn't cause kibbutz. The din of kibbutz. By the way, just one correction yesterday, because when we see Beis Hashem later, we mentioned yesterday regarding kibbutz. Kibbutz is going through the process of kibbutz, which was we learned in Maseches Nida. It's going the 7 simon. You have to do 7 cleaning products to go and to reach to the idea of kibbutz. So kibbutz means you have to go through a process of cleaning. Someone asked it yesterday. Kibbutz is a full process. The din of
They wash the garments soap. What makes it?
no, it needs to go through a whole process. When you get that's the din for kibbutz. You learn Gabi Dam Chatos, and we'll see it's specifically Dam Chatos, not other domim.
I think you mentioned mikvah, but it's an actual.
Yeah. So it's an extra thing. It's not the mikvah. It's not only it's the cleaning. Yeah, it's a whole process.
If they would, they'll throw it out.
So if spilled on a begetome, the blood goes on begetome ma. Now, what will be the question? So if let's see Lashon Rashi, the first Rashi, he does a begetome v'nitma minigyoso boy. Miavidam pasul kilu nitma koidim lachen. Do I say that it became tome same way it became tome before and it spilled in the beget? So it's not pasul. V'dim loy boy kibbutz doesn't cause kibbutz. When it fell, it was kosher. They came together, meaning it fell on the beged and it required kibbutz in one shot. So in other words, do you say that it's chal b'kavas and you made it zakas to be a dam tome before, or you say that no, it is a dam tome it's considered to be dam tome? Meaning the when we said that something like Shas HaKodesh and it became possible, so there's no kibbutz, that's only if it happened one after each other. Because I don't know, meaning the psul happened before it fell on the beged. Al vasachas happened in one shot, loy. Meaning, when you say the psul, then it does a problem. But if not, so we shwab the if not, we don't know. Meaning, the question is if it happens in one shot, we don't know. Says the Gemara, right? So says the Gemara, Omer the plukta da blozor verabon aliba de rabo kamitari tzabay. You want to know what the answer is? It really something that happened as it happened. I mean, it fell on the beget, and as it fell on the beget, it became tummy. So he says, really, machlek is a blazer rabban, and according to Rabbah, the way Abai explained it. Interesting. There, Rashi explains over here because Abai was a Talmud of Rabbah, so he explained to Rabbah, and then Rabbah agreed with him. Well, what was it? If you have mechatos is the water that you use with paradumo. If it becomes tummy, so it's still mitar. Why is it still mitar, even though it's tummy? A regular needle, you sprinkle it here with the water. What happens to the water when it reaches the needle? It becomes tummy. And it still works. So you see the mechatas tummy works, even though then it happens of asachas. Those goes in the sheet of Rabbi Kiva. The what? So he wants to say, I'll tell you why. Because before you reach the needle, you sprinkle the water on the needle. When the water of the needle is in the air, before it reaches the needle, it's already tummy. So before it reached the needle, it became tummy. And then when he reached the nida, he doesn't do tahara anymore because it's after the fact. That's what he wants to say. I mean, if it became a vas achas, maybe in the it's okay. But here the tumah came first because it's in the air. When do we know that tumah happens in the air? So I'll tell you, that's Rabbi Akiva. That says that something which is on top of something becomes tumah, then that. Yeah, or something, someone is standing in front of an oven. In the oven, there's a sheretz. The Rashi points out the ovens had an opening on top. For he stretches his hand above the oven to reach the window. He takes a pitcher and goes above the oven. Rabbi Akiva says it becomes tummy. Why? Once again, because of the air, because it's going above above the sheretz. Says they're arguing. The fact that it's above the sheretz is considered to be already in the sheretz, above the stan in the time. So you understand that's the machlokes over there. Same machlokes we have by nida. So it's caution. If I'm going to reach the nida, really it's going to be a problem. But in the, I mean, because it's not going to be a problem. But because it becomes stolen before in the air, it's a problem. Tommy says that's not true because Akiva says when you have a zah sprinkling, the went up over klicheres tummy, or like a bit mishkav tummy, mishkav tummy, went over an area which is tummy. Shitayra, airspace of tummy is not tummy. The only thing that's vitam in the airspace, any other oil, lasui evan and menugas. Evan is an evan of tsaras. That's the only thing that caused tumor in the airspace. But anything that is what? It's only when it touches it. So says the Gemara, I don't understand what you're saying. You're saying that according to Rabbi Akiva, airspace works. That's not true. Clearly not. So why do you say by the tanur it is? Hello, Rabbi, the kulam alav kamunach dami. It's only exero, meaning in the air it's not done.
Maybe that's just by a kli, but stamming without the operator.
The Gemara doesn't want to differentiate. The Gemara says it's a din in munach, but there really something in the air is not munach, but it's exero shemi munach. But once you did sprinkling, then you're taking it away from your hand. It's not coming back. So keva the nofak. So the Gemara in the beginning wants to say machlekes, does it a problem in the airspace or not? The Gemara says no. Everybody agrees airspace is not like the thing itself. What's the argument of Blazer Rabbanon legabe the mechata shenifsalu they learn from Nidam? Exactly our sugya. Meaning, when you do mechatos and you sprinkle on the needle, when it touches the needle, becomes tummy. So it's bevasachas. Bevasachas it does tuma and ta'aro. Is tuma that happens with vasachas equal to tuma that happened before? That's the machlokes. What the Rabbi says doesn't matter if tuma happened before with vasachas. If tuma doesn't work, it doesn't work. If you tell me it works, it should work in both. We're going to say no. If tuma happened before, it doesn't work. The vasachas does work. That's the master of doni, master of ein doni, is they equal or not? That's how Abai explained. That's what we wanted to say. That's the machlokes. Something that happens with vasachas, it doesn't work or not. Rov the kula alma ein donim. You don't live with each other. Let's start from Lazarus. So the machlokes is like this. Everybody agrees that if it happens right now, it's not like happening before. But here, he sprinkled blood and mechatos on the nida. Sprinkled. Some touched the nida. It's not enough. You need more on it. You have a shear. So I need to mitzaref what's on the nida together with what's not yet on the nida. So it's not matari yet, and it's already tummy.
Yeah.
Meaning, if I have to, well, let's go, I have to put an ounce of water on the nida. I sprinkle a drop. That drop is a matar. No, I need an ounce. So it's not making the nida tar, but it's already tummy. I'm going to take another ounce, another drop. Eventually, I'll have an ounce. But part of the ounce was already tummy before. Because before it became tar, before you made the woman tar, you didn't have enough water. So the water became tummy. So Rava says, if it happens to vasachas, everybody agrees, vasachas works even before it does not work. But if it happens, if you have a portion of it became tummy before, then it ruins the whole thing. If I have one drop, it's good enough. If it's happening to vasachas. So everybody will agree if it happens basachas. One basic what comes out. If I have tumor that happens in the same shot, the basachas, one says the machlokes, one says no machlokes. Everybody agrees that's not tumor. Okay, so the machatas sulo.
Chatas, that's the way the custom Torah side of it has to be sprinkled on. So it can't be basach.
Right, that's a good shot. So he says, you're saying that's what really Rav wants to say. You have to have a shear, you can do basachas, no. You're saying maybe that's Shaila is, could you learn to tell me in general that something has a basachas is different or not, or maybe not, or maybe not. Hey, it's a good error. Same with chatas psulo, we learned in the Mishnah of the chatas apostle does not cause kibbutz. Torah bon midamo midam ksheiro v'lo midam psulo. Only midam ksheiro cause kibbutz, not midam psulo. So we learned in our Mishnah, doesn't matter if it was okay and became bad or started bad, it doesn't cause kibbutz. Rabbi Kiva disagrees. Rabbi Kiva says if it was good and became bad, it does cause kibbutz. I saw the shas kodesh when he saw domaton kibbutz. It depends if it was okay or not. You have two miyutim. I want to tell you that if it was okay and became bad, and the gears over on the side is that's why you both. Kiva also prat the truma. Going to tell you the truma or not. Lagabi what? This is lagabi something else which we're going to see in a moment. I'm going to see soon. And not right now. I'm saying in the next of this parak. There's two things that we learn for this pasuk. One thing is kibbutz when it touches the clothing. Another thing is that you have to do mirak v'shtifa. You have to wash the kli that has the item in it. The shaila is what about truma? Does truma need it? So he says, "Oh, it's about the truma." I mean, Rabbi Shimon holds not only that truma doesn't need mirik v'shtifa, this special cleansing of the kli, even kochukan don't need it. So of course truma doesn't need it. I don't need a pasuk for that. So this pasuk is extra. Pasuk is extra tell you that if it's tameh, it doesn't cause kibbutz. According to the other one, no, kochukan do cause it. So I need a pasuk for truma. This pasuk is not extra. So I say only something that was tameh from begin with. It was partial to begin with. Doesn't cause kibbutz. Something was okay and then became partial does cause kibbutz. That's the machlokes in the Mishnah. And basically machlokes of Akiva against the Mishnah. If Dava the hell shasa kosher, something was okay, became tameh, does it has a requirement of kibbutz or not? So the Mishnah nitas minat sovar ala beged. You have straight from the neck to the beged, and to kibbutz has to be stopped miskal bekli. Mina keren after he threw the blood on the keren. Umina yisoid, we learned it earlier in the Masechta, was about to go to the yisoid, and to kibbutz. Because it has to be in a kli before zrika. Mishbach ala ritzpa fell on the floor of Osfoy, ain't to kibbutz, meaning fell on the floor from the neck of the behemoth, not from the kli. Ain't to kibbutz adam sheskabel bekli v'rolazor. This is the rule. The kibbutz is only something that was received in a kli, and you could do sprinkling. And we'll see in the moment what is it. What does it mean? Was it goes straight from the neck? Could it be something that you could sprinkle, which means in the kli that you could sprinkle. If it fell from the keren after zrika, or from the side, meaning which is something which is shraim. This was already done. After it's done, there's no kibbutz. You go pick it up. Zok the Elik Gemara and Daf Tzagim base. Ha tu lamali. Meaning, why do you have to tell me there's no kibbutz? Why do you tell me the rule and then in the Mishnah to give me all the list? So my time ago, give me the reason. My time and Nishbach Lavitzva also ain't told kibbutz. Why once a spill on the floor from the neck? So there's no kibbutz. Kibbutz the dom she's kabel v'kli v'roi lazor. Only something who's kabel v'kli v'roi lazor has kibbutz. Same way roi lazor meutimai. What's roi lazor coming to exclude? Meaning, you need to have roi lazor to have enough blood in the kli. So if the blood was received in the kli, now if the blood spilled on the beged, it causes kibbutz. But if you don't have enough blood in the kli, you have to have, let's say, an ounce. Only half an ounce, it doesn't go. Even though later you filled it up. the Tanya. Right? It says, Rav Chalaf Torba Sholoimer Kiddush Pochos B'chtei Azoi B'chlizeh U'Pochos B'chtei Azoi B'chlizeh. You have less than a shear in this clean and less than a shear in this clean. Loi Kiddush La Kadosh. You have to have enough shear. Ibayu Lehu Bedam. Bedam. So sorry. Kiddush is referring to what? To Mechatos. Now the Gemara says, what about blood? So the Gemara, it says the Gabi Mechatos. Peter learned to blood. Also, my time doesn't say be mind, but ba mind, the mind that we need, the known mind. Badam, the blood that you need. Also, by blood, if you don't have the right shear, there's no kedusha. He has to dip his finger into the blood, and not just like, take, let's say you have a little wetness on the clean, does like this. You have to like put it in like a tvila. From the beginning. So we'll see that that you need to go and sprinkle he has to dip his finger into the kli every single time. Can't just do, I have enough blood on my finger, blum, blum. No. Every time you have to dip again. Says if you just say only v'toval, it needs to be shoot tvilo. Maybe if you don't have enough in the beginning, then you added it, be okay. Because from the beginning, you need to have enough blood. Because I want to be down having that misapik. I would say even if it's not dipping, even if it's just like touching. Because I want to be toval, they have to put your finger inside. So this is what we said before. He sprinkles with a finger. He has leftover in the finger. Can he sprinkle again? No. He needs to dip again. Says clearly, sure, that's possible. Tamidcho said in the name of Avram, Tanina, he's doing a zo, and the zo spills from his hand. If it went from his hand before what? Before he did azor, so he has blood in his finger, right? Right now he has blood in his finger. He didn't do sprinkle yet. Yes, this is good blood. So he causes kibbutz. Mishehizo, once he sprinkled, even though you still have leftover blood, ain't to kibbutz. My love, actually, Gomer Malaz Zois to kibbutz. Mishikomar Lazois ain't to kibbutz. More in the beginning, maybe he means that as long as he needs to sprinkle 7 times. He sprinkled 2 times, it's caused 30 kibbutz. 5 times, 30 kibbutz. 6 times, 30 kibbutz. Even though he sprinkled from the same finger 7 times, it's still kibbutz. And only once he did 7, there's no kibbutz. Similar. Hakam. Actually, they didn't do the first azor to kibbutz. Because every azor, once he did it, he needs to dip his finger again into the blood. It says, this is a Gemara that we have in Menachos, and for Bara. Person finished the azor, all 7 azors. He does the whole 7. He takes his hand and he rubs it on the body of the cow. Paradum. He does the azor and he cleans his hand with paradum. He cleans his hand only once it's finished, because then it becomes possible. But before that, he can still use it. When he finished, he cleans his hand and the body of the parah. That he cleans his finger. Explain the Gemara. It says you have to burn the parah with the blood. So the leftover of the blood, you put it on the parah to burn everything together. It's not, you're not finished yet. So what is going to clean the yod? We'll see in a moment why can he clean the parah. He does it on the edge. Let's say this is the mazrik. He does it on the edge over here like this. Cleans it on the edge. Kippur is off. That's what's called kippur. Kippur is kapara. Kapara means to wipe. Right. So that's how you know that they use them as reiki to wipe the hands. So here, because why can he just clean the finger on the parah? So Rashi Menachos says, you know why? Because when he's doing the azor, he's in Harabais, and the parah duma is outside of Beis Hamikdash. So once he finished the whole thing, he takes his hand, goes down the mountain, cleans his hand. but the finger is too far when he does every azah. So he says here now that's not true. The paradum is where he's doing the azah. So therefore Toysa says the reason is because like Rashi says over here, if he's going to touch his finger, the finger is gonna the hair of the par will be on his finger. He's not going to be able to do more azahs. That's why between the azahs you don't clean with the par, clean with the kli, and then once you finish, then you clean the par. Now here it says kippur azav. It's a big yisod in the gabi kapara that the word kapara means wipe out. Like here you mechaper the finger. What does it mean? That's the essence of kapara. What's kapara all about? Kapara all about is that a person realizes that aver is not me. It's like a dirt. As long as a person feels that aver is me, that's who defines me. I can't clean it. Can't take out of your hand. Kapara is not to cut. Kapara means to just wipe out. Once you realize it's not you, it's something which is separate for you, then it becomes kapara, and that's the lush of kippur zav that we learn from this Indian. We'll stop over here, stop here in the Mishnah, because the next stop goes. We'll go to the next Mishnah. Pays Hashem tomorrow at the same time. David, Afreich Chanukah.
Thank you.
Where were we?